What's going on, everybody? It's Jose. Come back at you with another video, and in this one we're looking at the patch notes for Season 5. Just came out May 12th. So let's go into this one and unpack it. They did a lot of nerfing, a lot of buffing, and then they changed the map around as well. So obviously the new legend is Loba. We went over her abilities in the last episode, but just to recap, her tactical is Burglar's Best Friend, which pretty much gives her the ability to teleport. Her ultimate is Black Market Boutique, which essentially gives her the ability to gather any weapons or consumables or armor in the vicinity. And then her passive is Eye for Quality, which allows her to see epic and legendary loot through structures. So essentially, the biggest change to Kings Canyon is that Skulltown and Thunderdome have fallen. A new POI salvage has been added to the Broken Coast. Across the map, the offshore rig connects the former Relay and Wetlands. Wetlands has been replaced by the excavation of the Capacitor, which has a new underground pathway to Sing Labs. Nesting Grounds has continued to regrow into the reclaimed forest, which features an expanded Sing Labs exterior and a small camp outside of the cage. Kings Canyon will be the only map available for the first 2 weeks after this season launches. So if you want to get used to the new map, it is in your best interest to play a lot during the first 2 weeks. After that, they're doing a map rotation, kind of like how they did in the last season, but they're doing it with World's Edge Season 4. Now, if you watched the trailer for this season, you would have seen this charge tower. Charge towers are new devices unearthed in the excavation of Kings Canyon. Activate them to grant a full ultimate charge to any legend standing on the platform when the charge blast goes out. So you can charge you, your teammates, and enemies, whoever is standing on this tower, or on the platform rather. They also have season quests, the Broken Ghost. Introduces Apex First Quest, a season-long search for 9 pieces of mysterious relic. Find your first daily treasure pack in any competitive match to get started on your hunt and enjoy free weekly drops of new story, gameplay, and rewards along the way. They came out with the season tab. Essentially what it is, it has the battle pass, the quests, and the challenges all on one tab, no big deal. So as far as ranked, they're new in the new season 4. This season we are sticking to most of the same format, but have also introduced a key feature, Reconnect. Essentially what Reconnect is, and it's been in the works for a while, they've been talking about it. If you disconnect from a game, which happens quite a lot, surprisingly, you have the ability to reconnect into the game. So if you drop because the game kicks you out, your computer dies, whatever, you have a chance to boot back up the game and get back in. Now, the hard part about that is that you have to be quick with it because your character will essentially stop. They will stay in place, they will not move, just as if you DC'd, but it will leave you in the game. It won't take you out. So if you get caught in a storm and die, if someone shoots you and you die, or, whatever happens, even if you reconnect, you will be dead. It has to be, if the only way you'll be alive is if you are going to be alive anyway, just standing in that place the whole time. Even while you're disconnected, your team can revive you, but again, you're not going to move. So the players where someone in their team disconnected, it is still in your advantage to just play it out, because I don't believe you get forgiveness of them disconnecting and basically ruining your game if they're still eligible to reconnect. And this will be over a matter of time. After a certain period of time, they will declare them disconnected, and you will get the ability to leave yourself. They are also introducing conditional legend chatter. Under certain pairings, legends will speak to each other differently when prompted with normal dialogue cues. How does Loba thank Revenant for a revive? She sure doesn't say thank you. There are many pairings. If you are interested in hearing what everyone has to say, experiment. This is going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a good thing for YouTubers, but it's also going to be a good thing for casual players to kind of figure out playing each and every character with a buddy. Next is legend updates, and now we're getting into kind of more interesting stuff, starting off with Mirage. Now it's a party. Your favorite trickster has learned a few new tricks to bamboozle his enemies in this new rework for Season 5. Designer note. The hope of this rework is that it gives more depth to Mirage gameplay by giving Mirage players avenues to get better at bamboozling people. So it's tactical. Psych out. Pressing the character utility action button allows Mirage to gain control of his decoy. When controlling the decoy, it will mimic Mirage's every move. Decoys now last for 60 seconds. Releasing another decoy will remove the previous decoy. Now that's very interesting. That's actually something that a lot of people wished was possible from the beginning, because your decoy is kind of easy to figure them out if you play the game at any length of time, because all they do is just run straight. They don't move at all. Now that you can control them, you are going to be running at players and they're not going to know which one is you. Ultimate, life of the party. Mirage deploys a team of decoys that mimic his every move. Think emergency dance party from Dummy's Big Day. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Now this is an extremely short cooldown. Every minute you can pop this thing, which means you can use it for almost every engagement that you're going to be in. The other thing about it is that you don't go invisible when you use your ultimate. You stay visible, but all the mirages come around, and you basically create a circle. So if you run away, they run away from the circle. If you run towards the circle that you made, they'll run towards the circle that you made. So it's going to be extremely hard for people to know which one is you, because you're doing the exact same as all of the decoys. The decoys are acting the exact same as you in this one as well. Now it's passive. Now you see me. In addition to cloaking when down, Mirage also cloaks while using a respawn beacon and reviving a teammate. The teammate is also cloaked. This is extremely good. This is a huge buff. This makes it so now when they're bringing you back or reviving you, neither one of you can be seen, and that's going to make it extremely hard on opponents to kind of track where you went if you're able to get away from them for a little bit. What I did notice though is that it doesn't take away the noise cue. So if they're around you, they could still hear you. If they have good enough headphones, they're going to know where you are. So you still have to be a little careful with it. Mirage's You Got Bamboozled line now trigger when you bamboozle an enemy instead of when you release a decoy. Bloodhound, tactical Eye of the Allfather. Increase sonar detection from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Decrease cooldown from 35 seconds to 25 seconds. A little bit of a buff right there, nothing too crazy. Crypto, tactical drone. Crypto can now ping banners while in drone to warn enemies of nearby squads. A little bit of a buff, nothing too crazy. Lifeline, increase lifeline bin ratio 20%. Remove knockdown shields from secret compartment loot pool. So now you're going to get better loot, because even though knockdown shields are nice, they're not the best things you can get out of those, and you do want some other good loot, such as attachments. Caustic, designer note. This is something that is a bit of an experiment. We will be keeping an eye out to make sure this change doesn't cause any degenerate player behavior. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that, but okay. Friendly gas no longer slows teammates. Caustic traps are no longer triggered from the other side of a door. So this is kind of a buff and a nerf at the same time. Bigger buff though, because now your teammates aren't affected by the gas. It'll probably still make it blurry, but they won't be slowed, which is perfect, because that was one of the biggest problems, because even though they didn't take damage in the gas, they got affected like everyone else, just minus the damage. And now his traps won't be triggered through doors. A little bit of a nerf, not that big of a deal. A very well placed trap will still work 99% of the time. And then on top of that, you can still shoot the trap to set it off. Octane, designer note. This is the first step in pushing more team utility for Octane. We have more updates planned, but they didn't make the cutoff for this patch. So his launchpad cooldown is reduced from 90 seconds to now 60 seconds. Gibraltar, designer note. Internal data shows that Gibraltar's performance in individual fights is in a good place. but we want to bring down his power a bit in team fights. So they reduced the dome shield duration from 18 seconds to 12 seconds. Pathfinder, designer note. Given the power of quick repositioning in Apex, being able to use Pathfinder's grappling hook multiple times in a fight is both too powerful and muddies combat legibility. The cooldown for grappling hook has been increased from 15 seconds to 35 seconds, and more than doubled. This, in my opinion, was a little bit too much. I think if they made it from 15 seconds to 25 seconds, it'd be better. But essentially what they did is they made it harder for very high skilled players to use his grappling hook effectively to essentially get themselves out of situations and then back into situations and then out of situations again. Really good players are still going to be able to use him extremely well. They're just going to have to be more cautious when they use his grappling hook. Moving on to weapon and loot updates. Season 5 fully kitted gold weapons: Longbow DMR, Hemlock, Spitfire, EVA 8, RE45. The R99 that we saw in the character trailer did not make the cut. The Mastiff. The Mastiff is being rotated out of care packages into being a regular weapon with its power reduced accordingly. Damage per pellet from 18 to 13, headshot multiplier from 2.0 to 1.25, increased blast pattern distances for the outer pairs of pellets, increased blast pattern scale ADS multiplier from 0.5 to 0.55, reduced fire rate from 1.3 to 1.0, reduced projectile size to be more in line with other regular shotguns, increased shell count from 4 to 6, increased projectile speed to standard shotgun speed. Peacekeeper is being rotated out of a regular weapon and into care packages, and its power is being increased accordingly. Titan pellet spread pattern, reduced rechamber time from 1.2 to 0.9, reduced reload times from 2.65 to 2.45 base and 3.6 to 3.35 empty, increased projectile size to improve consistency at close range. This gun was already an extremely powerful gun, but they just made it more rare to get, but it's still going to be just as powerful, and you guys already know what to do. Now the alternator. Increased mag size from 16 to 19, level 1 extended mag is now 22, level 2 25, level 3 27. Now, I don't know if this is going to be out the R99, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make them competitive. RE45, increased damage from 11 to 12, reduced reload time from 1.74 to 1.5 base, and 2.12 to 1.95 empty. That's pretty decent buff right there. The Havoc, vertical recoil increased, horizontal recoil slightly increased, recoil on the first 2 shots increased. The Havoc in this past season is highly regarded as the most powerful weapon in the game. This is obviously their attempt at bringing it down to be level with all the rest. I think it's probably a good change, but we'll see if it actually impacts gameplay. Longbow DMR headshot scale reduced from 2.15 to 2.1. Alright, Wingman. Headshot scale reduced from 2.1 to 2.0. And the hop-ups. They are adding a Skull Piercer hop-up for DMR and Wingman. DMR with Skull Piercer headshot scale 2.1 to 2.5. Wingman headshot scale 2.0 to 2.25. They vaulted the Anvil receiver. This is going to be very interesting. You're going to see a lot more people carrying around Wingmans and Longbows. Gold armor, added perk, shield cells and syringes give double the amount per use. They removed the perk of 50% heal speed. Now this is going to be kind of interesting to see how it plays out. I think they kind of nerfed the gold armor by doing that. I actually liked it being a 50% heal speed. I thought that was really good. And I thought that it made it worth it to have gold shields. But they did kind of nerf it and made it so you're kind of guessing between having a red shield and a gold shield. Because now the shields take just as long, but they do twice the amount of healing. And then the rest of it is bug fixes, very general stuff. Not going to bore you with that. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Again, my name is Golseti. If you would like, drop a subscription, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you all have a great day.